Hey, I'm back for another episode of Email Fails, where we're going to talk about the things that email marketers are doing wrong and that they're screwing up on a regular basis. And today, we're going to be talking about why you should not focus on open rates when it comes to your email. And I know that's something that probably makes you say, whoa, 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 Bobby, what are you talking about? I've got to focus on open rates. But I'm going to explain to you why focusing on open rates is actually a mistake. And it's actually probably hurting the effectiveness of your overall email marketing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, if you don't know me yet, or if you're like sitting there saying, who is this crazy guy popping up in my newsfeed? I'm Bobby Klink. I'm a lawyer turned online entrepreneur, and I built a thriving six-figure business selling just about the most boring thing ever, legal templates, via email. So I know the power of email marketing and I know how to do it right. And so that's why I'm doing this series of email fails, mistakes that people are making when it comes to their email marketing and what you can do instead to fix things. So that's who I am, and that's what this series is about. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about having the wrong focus. And what I mean by that is focusing on click rates or open rates for emails, not really click rates, open rates. And you'll see this all the time. If you're in any kind of Facebook groups, you probably have people come in there and say, what's a normal open rate for emails? How many people should be opening my email? Well, my open rate is this. Is that good? Is that bad? And you'll see those discussions happen over and over and over again. And when it's a group that I'm engaged in and I care about, I like to jump in and say, I don't care what your open rate is. And you shouldn't either. Now, I don't want to go an extreme here. If only like 2% of your list is opening your email, we got a problem, right? And we got to fix that. But as long as you're getting a decent open rate, and I'm talking about 15% or more, let's focus on other things. And part of this is a general concept that I like to think about, which is kind of the 80-20 rule. A lot of people are focusing on the people who aren't opening their email, and then they neglect the people who are opening their email. So the way I want you to approach it from a mindset shift perspective is focus on serving the people who are opening. And if you focus on that, if you will focus on, week in and week out on serving the people who are already actually opening your email, everything will take care of itself. But that's kind of a mindset shift. But now I want to talk about why, focusing on open rates is a mistake and could be hurting you. And it can happen in a couple of different ways. Number one, you'll hear people talk about doing things to try to increase their email open rates, and they're doing sneaky things. I was literally on this training with one of the bigger marketing companies out there, and it was an email marketing training. It was a whole series, and the guy was, talking about his credentials and why you should listen to him. And he said, I've figured out all these tricks to get people to open my emails. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't want to trick the people on my list to open my emails, because you might trick them once or twice, but then you're just going to piss them off and they're not going to show up anymore. Me, I want to build a relationship with my list that's long lasting, that isn't kind of a let's hit it once and then, get over it. And if you focus on trying to use crazy subject lines that have nothing to do with the email, or things like, these different tricks where you see people who, use RE in their subject line, so they want you to think that they're responding to an email you sent, things like that, these kind of tricks that people will use to try to get you to open the emails. Well, the problem is that you're destroying the relationship with the people on your list. And that's the last thing you want to do. Because if you destroy that relationship, if people get used to the concept that you're tricking them, they're going to say bye-bye, and you're going to lose the value of having an engaged list. So that's one of the mistakes that has to do with, people focusing on open rates, is they try to trick people. And that's the worst possible thing to do. But there is a broader problem, and that is that some people end up so focused on trying to get people to open their emails that they end up setting a bad pattern. I was in this a group last week. I saw this discussion come up, and someone was talking about, I don't remember how the whole discussion came up, but she started talking about all of these different stats in her business. And she talked about having a 45 to 50% open rate. And this was with a pretty big list, a list of like 2,000 people. That's impressive. Let me be clear. Most people with lists that size are not getting that many people to open it. And someone commented and said, wow, that's amazing, and was asking what this person was doing. Well, come to find out, this woman was giving away free CSS coding. So basically free tons of value, like in every single email. And you might say, well, Bobby, you say I'm supposed to give and I'm supposed to serve first. So isn't that a good thing? Well, not really, because you're not building a relationship with your list when you do that. What you're doing is you're training people training people to expect something free in every single email. And the minute you stop doing that, a lot of the people are going to disappear. And so the problem was that you kind of end up with this like self-fulfilling, prophecy where you end up, because you've been giving this stuff away for free, you're chasing open rates. So you feel like you have to keep doing it. And then it's like, okay, but you're not building an engaged list of people who want to buy from you. What you have to do if you want to do that is instead focus on engaging and building relationships with your list. One of the big kind of mindset shifts that I say people need to make when it comes to email marketing is this. Too many entrepreneurs think of email as a megaphone where you just broadcast your message out. Instead, think of your email as a way to start conversations with your audience. And if you shift and start thinking about how can I use email to start conversations with my list, all of a sudden the last thing you're going to do is try to trick them on a regular basis. And you're not going to try to just give free to try to get them to open. Instead, you want a back and forth. And so that's why what I tell people is that instead of focusing on open rates or even click rates in most emails, what you should care about is response rate. And I want to be absolutely clear on this. I don't track the number of responses I get every week where I put a statistic to it. But what I can tell you is every time I send an email, I get people clicking reply and responding. And I don't do that by asking them. My emails rarely, if ever, ask people to click reply and respond. They just do. They feel compelled because something I said in that email resonates with them. And so they want to tell me. And then we have a conversation. And again, when you take this approach, here's what's going to happen. You're going to start having conversations with people. So for example, when someone clicks reply and responds to one of my emails, I can't guarantee you that every single time it happens that I'm going to click reply and have another conversation further, but I would say at least 90% of the time I do. If someone is going to take the time to respond to my email, well, I'm going to have the courtesy to respond back. And part of it is common courtesy, but part of it is this. Everything we do in email marketing is training the people on our list. We are training people with what to expect. What are they going to get from a week-to-week basis? What are they going to get out of having email communications with us? And so personally, I want to train people that say, hey, if you email me, you're going to actually talk to Bobby. You're going to have a discussion. And the more meaningful your comment is to me, again, the longer my response will be, right? I mean, if someone just says, hey, love this email, I will respond, or I'll try to respond and say, hey, thanks. I love it. I love hearing this because, I like to hear that people are enjoying what I'm putting out there, right? I'll say something like that. But sometimes I get these emails that have like a 5-paragraph, very heartfelt response to whatever I wrote about. Well, you can be sure that I'm going to give those people a very long, heartfelt response because I want to have those conversations. I want to build those relationships because those relationships are what make email marketing so valuable. And that's the weird thing. That's what a lot of people don't get. Email marketing, yes, it's a numbers game, right? You have to have a list. You have to have a list of a certain size, and you need to actually, be hitting a scalable number. But the truth is that the true value in your email list, like just about everything else we do in marketing, is often found in the stuff that seems non-scalable, in responding to people when they respond to you, in being courteous and treating people like people, And so that's why I want to focus on those things. And you might say, well, but aren't opens kind of a sign of that? Well, not really. Opens are a sign of, I mean, I don't know about you, but I open plenty of emails that open is in no way, shape, or form a signal that I'm likely to buy from that person. And that's ultimately what we're emailing for. Now, we could say all these nice things, but email marketing is about marketing. It's about helping us make money in our business. And so we need to be thinking about it from that perspective. And ultimately, the sign that you're building a list of people who are nurtured and ready to buy is that they're highly engaged, that they're responding, that they're replying. Not that you're getting a lot of kind of, I'll open it. So again, the mistake, the fail that people have here that I wanted to talk about today, and this is kind of a weird one for a lot of people, is that they're focused on the open rates for their emails. I don't care about open rates. Again, as long as you have an open rate that's not like pitifully low, like where there's something wrong, there's some deliverability, you're going into spam, as long as that's not the problem, just focus on engaging with the people who are opening your email. Focus on getting content that they're going to love, that's going to get them engaged, that's going to nurture them. And if you'll do that and make that shift, you will be much better off. That's it for this week. I will be back again next week for another episode of Email Fails. Talk to you later. Bye.